Morning.
Good morning. Episode 36.
36.
Has a good ring to it,
I like it.
doesn't it?
Feels like a comfortable. We've been in this. We're close to our 1 year.
We are. Next time we record will be our 1 year anniversary.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
It's actually bananas.
And it'll be episode 37, which is a prime number. It's important.
That's
We're in our prime.
we are. This podcast is in its prime.
It is.
We physically, mentally, emotionally are in our prime.
So let's talk about that. That'll be 37 episodes in 1 year, which is like, that's not 52.
No,
but it's
not.
So I guess
nothing.
that means we skipped. What would that be? 15 episodes? Yeah, 15
trying to do
episodes.
52, take away 37.
Yeah. But that's still pretty consistent. That's a lot of episodes in a year.
We've talked a lot.
I'm impressed with us. This is probably what we should talk about next week, not this week.
Okay.
How was your weekend?
Oh,
Just kidding.
Man.
I have a few things to check with you on first.
Here we go.
How is MyFitnessPal going?
It's actually going.
Is it going?
It's going better. I'm liking it. So I've been more consistent.
Okay.
My goal is to be at like a 400 to 500 calorie deficit every day. And so far I've been pretty consistent with that. It is the pain. I mean, it's the pain of having to log things and not knowing, like yesterday I had toast me for lunch and I'm like, how do I log this type of chicken?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So those little things, which I know we've talked about, it's kind of a pet peeve, but I'm doing the best. And I think it's just helping me be aware. And what's really good is like just the acknowledgement that like, if I eat that, I'm going to have to put it in. Yeah. And so choosing wisely.
Totally.
And then Chad's like,
it makes you not want to eat.
It's a little bit of at one point Chad was like, make sure you are eating some carbs and starches. Cause I was like, almost like I can't have any sugar. I can't have any, cause then it's going to take away. And he's like, cause what happens is your body then thinks, oh wait, I'm no longer getting these nutrients. So now I'm going to hold on to everything and you won't actually lose fat. So, I mean, I'm learning so much from him. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to get more steps in. I'm doing at least 2 weights a week. And then what he had me add, it's like some sort of like heart intense thing. So not necessarily a HIIT workout, but something like, so what I did last Thursday was jump rope. So 100 jump ropes as fast as you can. Yeah. And then see how high your heart rate gets. And then wait until your heart's back to like 100. And then another set and you do it 3 times. Cool. So it's like a 6-minute, but it's like getting your heart rate really. Other people would do like hill sprints or something like that. So he was like, integrate something like that once a week as well. So
how high did your heart rate get?
It's embarrassing. Do you want to really know?
Yeah, I want to know.
It's like 160.
I don't think that's embarrassing.
I think that's embarrassing.
Is it?
I think it's really high.
Do you know what your resting heart rate is?
No.
I have no idea either. It's interesting. I had a long conversation about heart rates with Brandon this weekend.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know anything about heart rates.
No.
I just know they go up as you exert yourself.
There's like a heart rate variability. That word's hard right
now.
And there's a resting heart rate and there's...
Yeah, I think Brandon's saying his resting heart rate's like 40 or 60 or something, like, which he was happy about.
Okay.
I'm like, nice.
That sounds good.
I'm like, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I know that, I mean, there's like Orange Theory workouts, which is all based on your heart rate. Yeah. So it like measures it. And then as it goes up, you're in different zones and stuff. So yeah, but that's all I know.
I know. So I feel good. I think, so the one, I feel like here's my thing. My strategy is if I can get good about, consistency, right? So if it's like, I don't necessarily want to starve myself and be like, I can't have pizza ever again in my life. But if I can get consistent about like figuring out the meals that work for my body that, you know, doesn't necessarily spike my blood sugar or doesn't make me feel extra tired or bloated or whatever. And then also find the workout routine that I can do consistently. Because I think I was sharing, like right now, I just like will pick a YouTube thing or an Instagram fitness follower. You know, I'm following somebody and just try one of those, and it's just random. Yeah. So if I can get some consistency, then I just feel like I can do it. Yeah. That's my thing.
I like it.
So yeah, it's thank you for asking. Please keep checking on me because I need the accountability. I do have a friend who we're like trying to keep each other accountable a little bit. And yeah, I think the more I have people asking me, the better.
Yeah. So. I think I might do it at some point for a monthly challenge soon. Yeah. Where probably MyFitnessPal, but just record, like keeping a diary at least of what I'm eating. Yeah. And then documenting how I'm feeling from that food. Yeah. Because I have a lot of stomach issues. Like pretty regularly, my stomach doesn't feel great and I'm having just just issues that we don't need to talk about.
Sure.
Podcast, you know?
I mean, listen.
Or we can. And yeah, I would love to know like what leads to that. Like, am I lactose intolerant? Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Like, there's a good chance.
The good thing is, like, if you are, there's some stuff for that.
Yeah, I could start taking lactate.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do a food journal or keep track and hopefully deduct some things from that.
Yes.
Because I've always like, I've always just like been okay with my issues and just like dealt with it. Like, it's not so extreme that I'm in so much pain, but pretty often I'm having some sort of, issues from the food I'm eating. So I'd love to know what's causing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, interesting.
So my fitness pal, other thing I want to check with you on is your car. How's your car? I saw it on a tow truck.
Austin, this car. I love my car. I don't know if I've talked to you much about cars. I'm not a car person at all. Like, people have like their dream car or they have it. I just like, it's just never been one of those things that I have any interest in.
Yeah.
And I found a car for the last 10 years that I have just loved. Yeah. It's my Land Cruiser. It's a 2004. It's
classic.
20 years old. Yeah. She's a vintage.
Yeah.
Here's what I love about her.
Does she have a name, first of all?
What do we call her? No.
Okay.
So. Yeah. What I love about her is that I'm so comfortable driving her. Like, I will, as a shorter gal, driving bigger vehicles can be intimidating. Yeah. Driving vehicles in general, because if I'm low and I can't see, it's very scary for me.
Yeah.
So having this where it's like, I can see very well in this car, like, I feel like I can park easily. Like, it's a big car, but it like drives very smooth. It parks really well. I can fit a bunch of kids in there. I can fit dogs and luggage and all sorts of stuff. And it's like great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so a couple weeks ago, the AC went out when it was 100 degrees outside. Man. I could not tell you how awful it was. Luckily,
you have a sunroof?
Yes, but it doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Neither does the antenna or the TV. Anyways, it's fine.
There's a TV?
There's a TV in there.
In like
6 disc changer.
Wow.
It's pretty sweet.
That's fancy.
But so the AC went out. Okay. So then I actually made a new friend through our school. A family owns an auto repair shop in University Place. And she's like, oh, I know your type of car. I'm sure we could figure it out. Bring it in tomorrow. So she like the next day was working on it for me.
Nice.
And then, so that was great. Got my AC working. And then last week I went to Anderson Island with your mom.
Yep.
The girls hung out with Easton and we did kind of just a quick little beach trip day. And my car, the couple days leading up to it was being slow to start. Okay. Like, it would like turn, but it was like, not quite. It was like, it was taking some effort to get it to turn on. I was like, that's new and not good. And then when I was going to Anderson Island, I like had this fear because then the day right before, so we went on Wednesday, Tuesday, it was like to the point where when I'd go to start it, I'd have to like pump the gas a little bit in order to get to kick on. And it was going real slow to start. And I was like, my nightmare was going to be, I'd be on the ferry to Anderson Island and I'd go to start my car and it wouldn't start and I would be stuck on the ferry.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to park outside the ferry and walk on.
Yeah.
Especially because your guys' house is so close. It's easy to walk. So I did that. When we got off the ferry, we were going, taking everybody home. I go to start it and it doesn't even give me anything.
So that was wise of you to not drive on the ferry.
I
think that's happened to my grandpa and my brother.
I know. Well, we had Easton with us. So Easton came back with us and he was saying, this happened. We rode the ferry 3 times. And I was like, oh my gosh. And Allie had a friend with us. So I had 4 kids and then myself. So it ended up, everybody was like such good sports. Your parents were awesome. So your dad ended up meeting me in Stellicum and he kind of tinkered with the car a little bit. I had taken the kids, I'd gotten ice cream. We were up at the playground, up the road.
Yeah.
And so I had all the kids and he checked it out and came back. He's like, yeah, I don't think it's like your starter. He was kind of troubleshooting. Chad was in Bremerton golfing and he said he was on like the furthest point on the golf course that he could be from like coming back to the parking lot when I called him and he left. So he's like running through the course, like dodging golf balls and apologizing. But he was a good 45 minutes out.
Yeah.
So your dad met me in Silicon. He took all the children, including Allie and her friend, Easton Piper Finn, back to their house and just like hung out at the lake while we waited for a tow truck.
Nice.
And then, we ended up doing that whole thing. So it ended up being, I mean, I was a little bit like, oh my gosh, these kids, like, this is awkward. But then I was like, they got ice cream. They went to the park. They got to go to the lake house. They actually had a great time.
They had no issue.
They loved it.
They probably had a better day because of it.
Exactly. So then what ended up being the issue was the fuel pump. So we take it in, and what was nice was we took it in that Wednesday night. They called us Thursday morning, said, yep, we think it's a fuel pump. We have to order a part. So most likely by the time we get to it and fixed, it'll be next Thursday. So a whole week. So then we're like, oh, geez. So we were figuring out cars. My parents have an extra car, so we're kind of coordinating with them. And then come Friday morning, they called us and said the part came in yesterday. We were able to fix it, so we got it back by Friday.
Nice.
So here's the sad part. I've spent close to $4,000 in this last month just on car repairs. $4,000.
Yeah, and what's the car worth?
Not that much more. I mean, this is where Chad's getting, because about a year ago, no, it was just this winter. This winter, remember you got your Tesla?
Yeah.
We test drove the Tesla. He had a buyer for the Land Cruiser for around $11,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lovey, I love this car and it's working fine. Last famous words.
Yeah.
And then come this summer, we've spent half that. So I test drove.
But now you have a new fuel pump, new AC. Like you're golden.
I'm good. But Chad's like, if something else goes out, like we just can't like be risking it. Yeah. So I test drove an electric Kia.
Ooh,
it's like an SUV.
Which one? EV8?
EV9? Is there a 9?
Okay, maybe. I know there's an EV6. That was the original Kia EV.
This is like a third row.
Yeah.
And I thought it was EV9.
That's probably right.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. It's the larger. It's new. It's like a newer version of the car. Yeah. It looks sweet.
I liked it.
Nice.
So I think we might go and do that. And just start fresh. And it's yeah. Our whole philosophy was like, if we get something that's electric and we're not paying a gas bill, because every month for the Land Cruiser we're paying a lot in gas.
Totally.
So we could swap our monthly car payment for a gas bill with an electric vehicle. So.
And I'll say, like, I paid attention to my electric bill since I got an electric car. I have not noticed any difference in my electric bill. Like, I don't think it's gone up at all.
How does it work when you go to like a public charging station? How much does that cost you?
Like $10 to $15.
Oh, okay.
Like not, and I very rarely do that.
Okay.
So you'll have a charger at home, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I guess if you take it on a road trip or something.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if you were to do that, how that would work. But anyways, that's my.
So the main thing to think about with Kia or with anything non-Tesla.
Yep.
I think Tesla's starting to allow other cars to use the charging stations. Yep. I don't really know how that works, but the Tesla, like for road trips specifically, Tesla, that's their advantage, is they have the whole supercharger network.
Interesting.
So you can go to any of those stations and it takes 30 to 40 minutes to do a full charge.
Yeah.
Versus most of the other charging stations, it's like 4 to 5 hours to charge
it.
So what I've heard is that that non-Teslas are not the best road trip cars for that reason. Unless you're going somewhere within the range of the car, then it's not a big deal. But if you're going 1,000 miles somewhere, then that could be it could lengthen your trip by a while just for waiting to charge it.
Okay, that's actually really good to know, because that was something my dad was asking me about. It's like, what about for road trips and things? I was like, no.
It's an amazing daily commuter. I never stop for gas, obviously.
Yeah.
I just plug it in when I get home every 3 to 4 days and fills it up, and it's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, so that's my car stuff.
Love it.
Yeah, thanks for checking.
Okay, last thing checking in.
Yeah.
Allie, any update on her health stuff?
Okay, so last time I chatted with you was on Monday. That Tuesday we had a follow-up.
Okay.
So at that appointment, it felt like the doctor was like, yeah, I think a lot of the symptoms were all attributed to dehydration. So I was like, okay, because part of the whole thing we initially were worried about was like this overall, like her complaining about feeling tired, her getting dizzy, sometimes passing out, these other things. So it was like, so she's been dealing with that for a little while. And, but the doctor was kind of like, well, here's what I did. When I took the 6 vials, I requested a ton of tests because I know she doesn't want to come back and do blood work. So I just am doing a ton of research. But
probably better to do
100%.
One and done, even if it's more blood. Just
totally.
Give it
I was like, that's great. And I actually made me appreciate the fact that she recognized that was very traumatic. And so get as much done as she can. At that Tuesday appointment, she said, we don't have all of the results back yet. So when those come in, I will let you know if there's anything else that's concerning. Well, then I get a phone call on Thursday. So it's not the doctor, it's her like schedule person.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah, the doctor would like me to schedule Alice to come back in and review the lab results. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, she's going to camp this week. And then the following week, we have another day camp. So we won't be able to come into like that next Thursday. It was like 2 weeks from when she called me. And she was like, okay, we'll put you down this, and we're figuring out. Yeah. So it wasn't like she needs you to come in as soon as possible.
Okay.
But she's also not saying, hey, we got our lab results and everything looks good. Just keep her hydrated. So I feel like there's this little bit of like, what's that appointment going to be like?
Interesting.
So more to
Can you ask? Can you
I should
call and be like, hey, this is making me nervous.
I'm actually uncomfortable. I was thinking about maybe calling the doctor and be like, hey, just checking, does Alice even need to come to this? Is it something you and I could chat about? Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that this week.
Yeah.
Let's just call and see.
Otherwise it'll be looming over you for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, well, glad that there's nothing urgent.
I know, that's how I felt like. Yeah. But then also, why would you call me to meet with me? And also we couldn't Zoom? I don't know.
What if there's like a default thing, like, because they're making money off every appointment.
That's what Chad was wondering.
I wonder if there's like like when they review lab results, the default thing is to meet in person for an appointment or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe because there's some sort of corrective action, like drinking more water, or maybe there's some supplement. Maybe because it's like there's a suggestion that goes along with it. Maybe then they do an appointment. I don't know. There's probably some sort of
I hope that's it.
Reasoning for
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Because obviously in my mom mind, I'm like, something's wrong. They're gonna give us some like health diagnosis.
But I feel like if it was serious, it wouldn't be like, okay, 3 weeks is fine. It'd be like, we need to see you tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. More to come.
Yeah, I would just
keep checking in.
Yeah, keep checking in. I'll add that to my list for next week.
Yeah.
Should we talk about our weekends?
Let's do it. I did a lot of talking, so I feel like you should start.
Okay, cool.
Because you had a really cool weekend.
It was a great weekend.
I saw pictures of you and then obviously my friend Eleanor.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Incredible. Seriously, one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Really?
Like top. I don't even know what would be more beautiful. So like maybe the most beautiful.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Okay.
Do you want to go like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or do you want to go full thing?
Just give me your full thing.
Full thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So the TLDR version is that, you know what that means?
I do not.
Too long didn't read. It's like the shortened.
I love that.
Shortened condensed version of a longer.
TLDR.
Yeah.
Too long didn't read.
Yeah.
It's not that much shorter than saying the phrase, but I like it.
Just type it out. Usually it's in written form.
Yeah.
Okay. So TLDR, I went to the Enchantments this weekend, which was amazing. Like it's been on my bucket list for a very long time.
Cool.
I actually added it to like my 2024 goal list.
Yeah.
Without ever actually like making plans for it to happen. And then Jan, I think you know Jan with Wari.
Yes, yeah.
He posted on his Instagram story like, hey, I'm doing this in a few weeks, or like, is anyone interested in joining? And I was like, this is my opportunity. So
literally you just had a few weeks notice.
A few weeks, yeah.
Wow.
I've done 0 hikes this year. Okay. So I did no training for it.
But you've done some other things.
But other cardio, yeah. Like decent cardio shape. Yeah. So
is that what you would say for somebody who's like getting ready to train for a hike, like just cardio?
For somebody for most people who are doing this, I would say you should do some training hikes.
Yeah.
Before you do this.
Okay.
Yeah. It was hard.
Yeah.
It was no joke.
Well, Eleanor was hardcore training.
Yeah.
She was doing a lot of stuff.
Totally. Yeah. Like I've been training my body.
Yes.
I haven't been training hiking specifically, but like I've been training my legs. Like and that's what you need.
Yeah.
You need your legs and your feet.
Okay.
And then I mean everything was sore. Like my back was so sore from the backpack. But mostly.
How much weight were you carrying?
No. Maybe 20 pounds. 20. I actually don't even. I have no idea. Not that much. I had a good amount of food, pretty light pack, but actually no, probably more than that because I had a lot of water on me.
Okay.
So let's go. So Friday.
Sorry.
If you're good. Friday had something pretty traumatic happen.
What?
Did you see my Instagram story about the bear spray?
What? Okay. Just barely.
Okay.
Pun intended.
Barely. Love it. Okay. So I was loading my backpack up on Friday afternoon, getting ready to go. And I have bear spray, which is if you see a bear, you're supposed to, if it gets close to you, you're supposed to spray it.
Yeah.
And I was loading my backpack and I was like zipping it up and I accidentally pressed down on the thing, the button, whatever it is.
Yeah. Trigger.
And it went everywhere. It got all over my arms. It thankfully did not go in my eyes because that's supposed to be horrendous.
Yeah.
But it like definitely was in the air. It was like all over in the air. It got up my nose. I was inhaling it for the next 30 minutes, I was coughing up like hacking a lung, if that's the term. It was really bad. Like term. I was
Where
like kind of freaking
out.
out. I was at home in our kitchen
by yourself.
Brian was there, so I call, and he's on he's working, and I'm like, I need help. I was like yelling, I need help right now. So he like comes out, and he's like, what does that smell? And it was like really overwhelming. Like it's kind of like a spray paint smell almost, but like really intense in our house. So he's like opening the windows and doors to air it out. Oh my gosh. Stevie's like freaking out. I'm like, I need water. Like, he gives me a glass of water. I'm like, can you please Google like what to do if you spray yourself with bear spray? And a lot of the stuff was just like, depends on where. Like if you get it in your eye, you're supposed to like clean out your eyes immediately. So there's all these different things, but it was really bad. So the next hour was really rough. It was pretty much like my nose was like super swollen and red just from like inhaling the fumes. And again, thankfully, it did not go in my eyes because that would have been way worse. But my arms, so it got on my arms, it got like on my hands, and probably for the next 8 hours, they were burning. Like it felt like my arms were on fire. Like I pretty immediately cleaned them off. It said to like, there are all these different solutions. People said milk. I didn't have milk, so I like used Dawn dish soap to like clean off my arms. I put like lotion on them, but it was so painful. like so bad. So that sucked.
Oh my gosh. That's awful. I did see you had a poster or a picture that was like 10 out of 10 don't recommend.
It was so rough.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can't imagine in the eyes because like just on the skin was like so incredibly painful. Until I went to bed that was probably around like 2 p.m. until like 10 p.m. My arms were still like burning. And then the next morning I woke up and it was fine. But yeah, it was really rough.
Okay, let's say you were to use this on an actual bear.
Yeah.
It sounds like you could still get hurt from it. Like, because you're not going to.
That's what I've heard about pepper spray. Because like because so basically what this is like extra strong pepper spray.
Yeah.
It's for a bear instead of a human. Yeah. But yeah, I've heard if you spray someone with pepper spray, like there's a good chance it could spray back on you and you could like feel the effects of it.
Yeah.
But the person you're spraying it at obviously is going to have it way worse than you will.
Sure.
But, yeah, so I mean, it was crazy. And then we saw a bear on the hike, and I'm like, I don't have my bear spray because when that happened, I just like, I'm like, I don't want to bring this with me. Like it was so traumatic. So I put it in a Ziploc bag and threw it in our trash can. So I did not have bear spray, but I mean, it got like I had a brand new backpack, so it got all over my backpack. I was gonna
say, did your stuff inside the backpack get ruined?
I had to throw away a couple things. Yeah, backpack is. I mean, you can still, if you smelled it today, you can still smell the bear spray on it. Wow. Yeah. So that sucks.
That's awful.
Bad start to the weekend.
Did it make you like late to anything or you were fine?
I ended up leaving my house probably like an hour and a half later than I would have. Just because I was just like dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. So that was the beginning of the weekend. But after everything from there was great. So
I would have had a hard time being like, is this a sign? I should have not go.
Yeah. So my friend Brandon ended up coming. Okay. So
was that always part of the plan?
It was
Last
not.
minute. Okay.
So Jan arranged the whole thing. He had a group of like 8 to 10 people that were doing it. And then almost everybody within like 2 days of the trip, like backed out. Oh no. For various reasons. Yeah. Like they injured themselves. They had different things come up. So
they sprayed themselves with bear spray.
Could have been me. So it went from like 8 people to like 3 people. Wow. So it was just going to be me, Jan, and Jan's girlfriend.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if I want a third witness. It would have been fine.
That would have been so funny.
It would have been fine, but I texted like a couple friends like, hey, this is last minute, but anybody free? Yeah. And Brandon thankfully was available. Nice. So, and he had a trip planned to the Enchantment to do the Enchantments like 2 weeks ago. They got canceled. So it all worked out perfect. So he came to my house. We drove up to Leavenworth together.
Oh, great.
Stayed at a really cool Airbnb.
Nice.
Right on the river. Really beautiful and just like kind of a classic log cabin with the deer heads and
love it.
Love that.
Leavenworth is so fun.
It's close to Leavenworth. It was right on the river. It was really, really cool. So that was Friday. We got there, stopped at the store for snacks and stuff, and then pretty much went to bed like at 9:30.
Talk me through your backpack snacks. What did we put in there?
Good question. So we kind of a lot of random stuff. Okay. So Brand and I kind of went in on everything together and split it between our 2 backpacks. So we got, let's see, what do we get? We got some berries. We got each got a sandwich.
Okay.
Like a deli sandwich.
Yeah.
Got some sour gummy worms, which were incredible.
Sounds delicious.
Amazing. Got some beef jerky. Got some nuts. Got an energy drink each.
Okay.
Got a coffee for the morning. we got bagels.
Okay.
I got some Nutella, some peanut butter.
Sounds phenomenal.
It was a great mixture of snacks.
And like you're like making your little picnics on the hike, like you stop and like spread your Nutella on your bagel and like sit there.
Exactly. I brought a knife with me and
great.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Okay, so that was Friday. Saturday morning we woke up very early. Woke up at 3:30.
Yeah.
Got to the trailhead around 4:30, and then we kind of were waiting for a little bit. But we started at 5.
Okay.
And then one other lady met us as well. Her name was Mila. So she was the MVP of the weekend. So actually there are a few MVPs. She's one of them. She apparently Friday night went to like a concert in Seattle.
Yeah.
And then drove to Leavenworth after the concert. Got to the trailhead like less than an hour before we started the hike. So didn't really sleep at all.
Mila.
And then hiked 22 miles.
Can I ask how old she is? Do you know?
I have no idea. I could not tell you.
She sounds 23.
She's probably 30?
No.
Maybe 27?
She's 27.
Or 20 or 33.
I guarantee she doesn't have kids.
No kids.
Actually,
I don't know. I honestly don't know much of Mila.
Mila, if you listen to this, we are not bashing you.
After the whole day with Mila, I didn't learn much about her. But
she's a mystery.
She's definitely a mystery gal for sure.
Mila is actually an angel sent to you.
Probably.
She's not real.
Yeah. Okay, so we started at 5 a.m. and I really have the gift of making stories way longer than they should be. So
I like it. I really like it.
Okay, so
it's a gift I benefit from.
And we finished around 8 p.m. So it was a full day, 15 hours. We could have done it faster for sure. Like we could have probably finished it in 12 hours, but we were taking our time. We took a lot of breaks.
You had to make your bagel Nutella sandwiches.
Make the how to do that. Yeah. We stopped and swam at a lake. So we took our time. So the first part, you hike up to Lake Kolchak, which is I had done that hike before. So I got to that point, but I'd never gone far.
How far is that?
Probably 4 miles.
Okay.
So not too bad. Okay. It would have been like an 8-mile round trip. Hike, probably. Beautiful lake, like crystal clear blue water, like beautiful.
From where you start to that lake, is that a pretty technical trail?
Mostly anybody could do that.
Okay.
That hike. Beautiful, like one of the most beautiful lakes I've ever been to. So previous to doing this, Kolchak Lake had been on my list of like favorite hikes ever. So I already knew that part of it.
Got it.
From Kolchak Lake, you go up what's called, I think, Asgard's Pass or something, which is a mountain. Like you are climbing vertically up a very steep mountain.
And like boulders.
Like boulders, yes.
It's not even trail.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's very, very technical.
Yeah.
Like it was very hard.
First off, I just want to I learned that hiking term a lot like years ago.
Technical? Yeah.
And I try to throw it in every hike. How technical is that?
That was technical. Yeah.
I don't know like how hard or how difficult. I will be like.
I don't know what the opposite of technical would be. Like easy. Like the first part up to Kolchak was on the more easy moderate side.
Yeah.
That part up Asgard's Pass was very technical. Yeah. Very difficult. Like
hands and knees. You're like crawling.
For parts of it,
with
for sure.
Your 20-pound backpack.
Yeah. Yeah, so that took a while. It took us you're climbing up that for a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
We saw some goats on there. Yeah. There's mountain goats chilling on the mountain. It was great.
So cute.
And then made it to the top of that. And then from there, probably for the next 5-6 hours is some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in my life. Like unreal.
Yeah.
Like I think there's 600 lakes.
What?
And ponds. So pretty much you're just going from it's really hard to explain, but you're going through
600.
Yes, that's what I Googled it yesterday.
I'm like,
and lakes and ponds.
Shannon, please fact check.
And pools of water. And they're all flowing into each other.
Wow.
So it's just these
stunning,
incredible, let me just show you.
Is there pictures. Tons of people?
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But not overwhelming.
Okay.
Not a crazy amount. Let me show you just one.
Is this a new little wallet detail on the back of your phone?
I have a little wallet. It has a stand on it too.
Fun.
Isn't that cool?
Oh my gosh.
So for our listeners, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to see these pictures, but you can go to my Instagram if you want to see these photos. So let's see. That's not.
No, that.
That's not even. No,
but that next one. Wait, go back. That.
Yeah.
Looks unreal.
That's just one of the many.
Snow.
Look at this. There's just this meadow with this log.
It feels like you're Lord of the Rings. You're in
You're right. It 100% feels like that. Or you're in Shrek in the part where they're
That's not real.
I know, exactly.
Shrek's not real.
It didn't feel real. Like
Lord of the Rings is though.
Look at these like Lord of the Rings is real. Like just really,
this is amazing. People
really
go to his
stunning.
Instagram.
Just beautiful, like rivers and lakes and ponds and just mountains, everything, snow, waterfalls, hundreds of like it's crazy. I've never, like most hikes I go on, you're hiking to a lake. Or a waterfall or a one thing.
This is like
times hundreds. It's crazy. 600. Yes. You can fact check me if you want.
That's amazing.
Incredible. Like, yeah. So hard to describe.
Because Eleanor started and it's dark. Yes. And then, at 5, were you in the dark still?
Yep. Yeah.
And then sun comes out.
We haven't had lamps.
Oh, you did. Okay. Yeah. Then evening. 10 p.m. you said?
We ended at 8. So it was still light out. I mean, the sun was starting to kind of fall behind the mountains.
But you could still see everything. Okay. Yeah. And then you saw a bear.
Saw a bear. Yeah. So towards the end, we were probably within like 5 miles left. Some of the day we were around a lot of people, but most of the time you were like in your group and then people would pass you, you'd pass people. So we'd been passed by quite a few people.
Okay.
We got to this point and there was like probably 30 people all standing together. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And I guess the guys at the front had seen a bear.
Okay.
And they were like, I guess being a little bit like demanding, like nobody can pass. Like there's a bear. Like they were like controlling the group pretty much. And then, this is what the people right in front of us told us.
Yeah.
And then eventually there was a group of guys that were like, all right, like we got to keep going. I think they had been there for like almost an hour when we got there. And so they started like yelling, like, and apparently with the bear, you're supposed to like clap really loud, make yourself big and loud and noisy. Yep. And so they were like clapping and cheering and whatever. And because the bear was, I guess, on the path, like on the trail.
Oh, okay.
And then, and eventually with enough noise, the bear, like, or she, I don't know, went off into like the brush next to us.
Yeah.
And we were able to pass. But when we passed, we were, 30 feet away from him.
And
like,
you saw him.
Saw the bear. The cutest thing I've ever seen.
Aww.
Like all we could see is a little hair, the head popping popping above. And he was like eating grass or something. And I just he looked very huggable. Like just this giant bear head. And yeah, it looked like a stuffed animal. Very cute.
It's a dangerous perspective.
Yes. So what else? Bear spray in the face. Saw a bear.
In the face. That's the
Didn't have my bear spray.
The irony that you sprayed yourself and then you saw one.
I was making the joke that I'm actually immune because I was covered in bear spray. Yeah. That the bears will.
You're like, send me to the front. Yes. I'll scare them away with my arms.
But then towards the end, so okay. I'll wrap up here. So we made it to the top. That part was very hard. What was actually the hardest part for me was going downward, because this is maybe TMI, but I have had ingrown toenails on both of my big toes, kind of consistently for a long time. Like it's a hard issue to fix.
Yeah.
And so anytime I was going like down a steep downgrade, my toes would hit the front of my boot, and it was so incredibly painful. Like hurt so bad.
That's awful.
Very awful. And yeah, so that was the worst part for me, was like just the constant pain in my feet.
Well, people say going down too is like hard.
Really hard in the leg.
And the legs, on your knees.
And a lot of it was, again, very technical. Like you're hopping rock to rock. Like you're really moving your body.
Yeah.
So
are you do you have good hiking boots?
They're good. Everyone else in our group had trail running shoes, which I actually probably should have. I would do that next time.
Okay.
Because I think they're hiking boots are a little bit more, I think, stiff and rigid, I guess.
Yeah.
The trail running shoes kind of, I don't really know the terminology, but like they go
flexible.
They're more flexible.
Okay.
And there's also a point on the front of the toe if you do hit like a boulder or something that'll protect your toes.
Okay.
So that might have been better for me, but my feet were very in a lot of pain. And then the last probably 3 to 5 miles, I was running. We were mostly jogging, and I got to the point where I'm like, I gotta get off my feet.
Yeah.
So I kind of split up from the group and ran back.
Okay.
And so the Airbnb we were staying at was because it's a through hike. So you basically start in one point, you end at the totally opposite point.
Oh, interesting.
So we drove in the morning, and then we ended the hike, and we walked back to the house.
Okay, got it.
And then we went and picked up our cars.
Okay.
So yeah, the last like pretty much hour probably, I was like going as fast as I could just to like get off my feet.
Yes.
So. And
then that evening, are you just like horizontal?
That evening we went and picked up our car. I showered I'm like, I need to get myself clean right now.
Yeah.
And then we'd go get our cars, and then we needed food. And so I drove into Leavenworth, and I picked up Taylor in our group, she ordered food, and I went and picked it up.
Yeah.
I don't think she realized that where she was ordering from, it was like a bar pretty much with like bachelorette parties and karaoke and stuff. So I waited in the line for probably 25 minutes.
Sang a few rounds of Journey.
I was just like, there was no waiters. It was just, or like front of house. It was just a bar.
Yeah.
So I had to like wait in the line for a bartender to see. It was,
oh my gosh.
I did not want to be there. No. I was like so over it, but so loud, like did not want to be on my feet, but it's fine. Got the food, went back, went to bed pretty quick.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Sunday morning, I slept for like at least 10 hours. Good. Woke up at 9:30 Sunday morning, packed up, drove home. And then Sunday was kind of just like a get stuff done around the house day. Brian had, I show up and Brian and I have an arrangement that if we make a purchase over a certain dollar amount, we run it by each other.
I love that.
And he made a purchase that was above that dollar amount, but he's like, no, you didn't have reception. I couldn't. I tried. So
I tried.
Yeah. So he made a purchase.
Okay.
He bought a monitor for his desk. So he did like a whole desk reorganizing, which his office looks way better. It looks way just like cleaner and streamlined. And then I sold his old desk on Facebook Marketplace. That was super easy. And then we went to the dump, did a dump run, got groceries.
You guys were productive.
Stuff. And then we've created a new tradition for House of the Dragon that we watch. We buy Papa Murphy's, and we've done it the last 3 weeks in a row.
Guys.
Papa Murphy's and House of the Dragon's a great combo.
Great.
And watch that. And
what's your order from Papa Murphy's?
We've been experimenting the last few weeks. Okay, so our favorite so far is a half. We do a half and half.
Yeah.
Half pepperoni, jalapeno, pineapple. Okay. Which is ordinarily our go-to pizza.
Interesting.
Have you ever had a combo?
Pineapple jalapeno?
Yeah. So it has the sweet and the spicy with the pepperoni. Right. It's amazing.
I don't do pineapple.
I didn't either.
I won't ever.
You will. One of these days we'll get pizza together and I'll just like the egg whites in the drink.
Okay.
Broaden your horizon. So you have that and then half like a meat lover's pizza.
Okay.
It's just
there's one I think that they do that's chicken and there's sun-dried tomatoes, something.
Yeah.
It's real good.
I bet. Pop Murphy's.
Amazing.
And then watch House of the Dragon.
Great.
To bed.
You watch every time you watch the last week's episode and then the current week's episode.
Yep.
Okay.
We did that. Did you watch last night?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
So
oh man.
I don't have anything to contribute.
It's great. I really like the episode.
Not to like totally sidetrack, but there's a show on Apple TV called Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
So good.
Jake G.
It's only 8 episodes, so it's short.
Okay.
And I think I read something that it's become the most popular watched Apple TV show that they're doing a season 2.
Really?
It was really good.
Nice. I'll give it a shot.
Give that a little whirl in between. Okay.
So how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It was pretty chill. So Friday, Allie so this week I just dropped my kids off at camp. They're both gone for the week. I'm like beside myself. People are like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to have a quiet and clean home, first of all.
So I'm really
excited about that. Yeah. But anyways, so Allie is going to this kids camp as an intern. So on Friday, she had an intern meeting out in Fox Island. So Chad, Piper, and myself took her out there, and then we went into Gig Harbor and did like dinner, and we went to Ocean's 5, a little fun place.
Did you bowl?
We didn't bowl. We did the arcade because we were like, we don't have too much time, so we'll just give Pipes some money. Here's what's so funny about arcades. My kids love them. They like play these games. They're like winning all these tickets. It's not cheap. Like we spend like $40 and they go to cash in their little card with the tickets, and the prize that they get is
dollar store.
At least a quarter. I mean, it's like it's shocking what you walk away with. Like there was one, it was like a lollipop, and she did not have enough points for this lollipop. And maybe I didn't spend 40. I think I spent 40. Anyways.
It's a brilliant business model.
It is phenomenal. And
because like the biggest prize is gonna be like a stuffed bear or something.
No, Austin, they had a solo stove, like a fire pit table thing, or not a fire pit, but like, do you know those solo stoves? Didn't you guys have one? That was
like for camping
for thousands of tickets.
Okay, so you're spending, $500 to buy a $50 stove.
100%. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we did that, and then ended up grabbing Allie and went back. So that was kind of Friday night. Saturday morning, I had a buyer's consult. I had another funny thing with Chad. He went golfing. And so we both were like, okay, we've got morning commitments, but we'll like connect around 12:30 or so. My buyer's consult went really well. It's actually the, do you remember Ro? You helped her buy a condo. She and her partner are now wanting to buy a house.
Nice.
So I met with them.
Awesome.
He works with Microsoft. Really sweet couple. So anyways, had that here on Saturday morning. Chad was out golfing. Come back home. I'm like, okay, he's supposed to wrap up around 12:30. 12:30, I'm not hearing from him. 1:30, I reach out. I'm like, checking in. It's been 6 hours. And so so here's the disclaimer. Because of the car issues, he got a ride with he went with a fire department buddy.
Okay.
He got a ride with him to go golfing because originally our car wasn't going to be ready. So he was at the mercy of his driver. So they go golfing and then they go out to lunch. And so then they're not home till 3:30.
Okay.
And he had told me 12:30. And this is just a little sneak peek into what it's like to be married to me. If you tell me 12:30, I'm expecting 12:30. And they're just like, and if he had said, he did say, I'm so sorry, I'm at their mercy. They want to go out to eat. Apparently while they were out to eat, he like helped save a guy's life or something.
Oh my gosh. Actually?
Joke like that, actually.
Like Heimlich or something?
He was not Heimlich, but he had passed out at the table and they helped get him back to a conscious state, whatever. I'm like so mad. So here's the funniest part. So he rolls in at 3:30 and I am like ready to be like not welcoming.
Stone cold.
Give him the cold shoulder. And then all of a sudden I hear a bunch of voices and I'm like, what is happening? He brings the crew in. They want to see the house. They've never seen it. So then all of a sudden I go from cold to, hi, welcome. Like totally. I'm like, I should have won an Oscar for how I felt, but how I was portraying my attitude.
Hold on. At this point, did you know that he had saved a life or no?
No.
Okay.
That happened.
Like if he had texted you, been like, "Hey babe, hey Lovey, I just saved it."
Hey babe, I'd be like, "Who is this?" You don't call me babe.
I saved a life. Would you have been less cold?
Well, like, it's kind of like, did you really like? I don't know. He would have been fine. He would have been fine. Somebody else would have helped him.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just teasing. No, it was more comical. I am really like half joking. But then the guys leave and I'm like, and scene. What? I'm like, acting is done. No, it was fine. And the thing is like, he did a lot of golf when his family was here, but like throughout a year, he does not golf much.
Yeah.
And the guys he was golfing with are like really quality, good people to spend time with. So I'm like, I'm trying to like reconcile. My head was like, he's gone all day today. That night we hosted friends and then he was working overtime on Sunday. So he was going to be gone. And come Monday, our girls are gone. So in my head, I was like, it's the lack of you not being around when we're about to say bye to these girls for a week. I don't know. That was my justification. Didn't work. I got over it fairly quickly in my head, maybe not to him, but I felt fine.
How long are we talking?
Like within the evening, I was like back to normal. But that evening we had our friends Carrie and Blue over.
Okay.
And that was great. It was like we did our classic Harbor Greens steaks that we had with you guys. And it was just a beautiful evening. Like girls swam and we hung out on the deck and just caught up. It had been a while since we'd seen them, so it was fun to catch up. And then that was Saturday. Sunday, Chad was working. I was volunteering at our nursery at our church, so I did that in the morning. And then we grabbed Toast Me with my parents and ate at our house. Watched a little bit of the Olympics. Are you watching the Olympics at all?
I need to. Brian just signed us back up for Peacock or whatever. Okay. So we can watch it. So.
We have YouTube TV. Somebody gave us a login for that. So we've been kind of just, I don't know. I was watching some of the gymnastics yesterday. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, what these people do with their bodies. Jeez.
I would love to be an Olympian. Sounds great.
I feel like you could.
Yeah? And what?
I'm not sure. But you've got the
Thank you. I think it's too late.
The drive.
They all start when they're like 12 or 8.
Well, I was kind of thinking like, what happens to them? Like, because it's not a big, like, you don't make a ton of money.
You don't make any money. I don't think you make money from the Olympics.
Right. So, I mean, maybe endorsements afterwards and you become like a celebrity of.
Yeah. Well, there's so many Olympic athletes. I think a percentage of them become famous, especially if they win. If they win their thing, amazing. Yeah. They a lot of times will get brand deals or they'll get sponsored by Nike or whatever.
Yes.
So those people do great, but there's probably a significant percentage of the Olympians that like.
Well, sports you've never even heard of.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be crazy to be in the Olympics and then you're like kind of past your prime and you can't do it anymore. And then you're just like have to go back to normal life. Because you've devoted, most of these people have devoted their entire life to this pursuit.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't have other things like, and maybe I don't know. Maybe some of them have gone to college and stuff. I have no idea.
I was thinking the same thing though, because like even like on our minor scale of like when Piper was in gymnastics and they at a very young age were trying to get her to join a team, which I think they do. It's not like she was phenomenal. She was good, but they were like, all right, so we're going to start her on like a workout plan and a meal plan. And she's going to be coming in here 12 hours a week. And at the time she was like 5 years old. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But I was just thinking like, that's what people have to do. And that's like, that only increases and then that's your life.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, there's got to be some psychological
100%.
stuff that they go through.
Yes.
Anyways, so I watched a little bit in the Olympics. And then similarly, like ran a couple errands, got like, the girls were packing for their trip. So we were getting, odds and ends and stuff packed. And I started, so I remember I told you I'm assistant to the regional manager for cheer. Yep. So I have some training I'm having to do online that I've been kind of working at. So just, becoming a cheer coach.
Love it.
So
when does that officially start?
Well, that's the thing. Technically, I've been helping, and then I got this email like, here's all this training you need to do before you start coaching in any capacity. And I was like, oh, okay. Good to know. We don't have anything this week, so I'm going to hopefully wrap up all that training this week. Okay. And then next week, we're actually at a cheer camp. So that'll be fun report back. And then
I'm sorry, does Allie cheer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So you'll be her cheer coach.
Yep.
Okay.
Which has been interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting dynamics because she's good.
And she'll be in 8th grade next year.
Yes.
Okay.
So for middle school, that's the highest grade. So her and her friends are kind of helping lead and guide the younger up and coming 6th graders.
Gotcha.
And she is good. And so I don't want to show favoritism. I don't want to have her always be, she's a flyer. I don't want to always have her be the flyer. And then I also am trying to be mindful of like, I'm not too harsh either because I'm her mom. I think I'm like kind of overcompensating both ways. So it'll be an interesting dynamic. I could tell one of the practices this week, I kind of took away I didn't take anything away from her, but she had been leading some cheers and I was like, okay, Lily, you call them now. And like Lily kind of looked at Allie and Allie got a little bit like quiet. And I never talked to her about it, but I felt like, oh, she might've thought I was saying she wasn't doing a good job and I'm giving somebody else the, leadership now. I don't know. I was reading and then sometimes I'll give her corrections and she's a little bit like doesn't take it very well. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing to navigate with her. Yeah. It'll be okay. Yeah.
Bonding experience.
Bonding. Hopefully. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that was kind of my weekend. Nothing too crazy. Nothing really, didn't hike in Enchantments or
it's okay.
Didn't ride my bike to Portland, but
so speaking of those things, so August is 2 days away.
Is that it?
I think
2
so.
days.
No, 3 days.
Right. No.
Today's the 29th?
Yeah.
Let me look.
I'm sorry. Is that your passcode?
It's very secure. Everyone just see it on the screen. So August 1st is in 3 days. Mm-hmm. And so I did not do a July challenge because you
challenged your body.
Because I challenged my body. I did the STP, the triathlon, and the Enchantments. Mm-hmm. So August is a new month, and I am bringing back my monthly challenges.
Here we go. Are we announcing?
I'm announcing. Yes.
Okay.
Big deal here. Drum roll, please.
Yep.
Okay, so for the month of August, I'm doing kind of a month-long challenge rather than a daily challenge.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so my goal for the month is to hit 500,000 steps over the course of the month. So as I do the 10,000 step thing every day.
Okay.
Which
do the math.
I will hit 1,000 days of 10,000 steps in September.
Holy schmolies.
So my goal for August is 500,000 over the course of the month. Which does August have 31 days? 31 days. So that would be an average of 16,129 per day.
Okay.
So some days will be, closer to 10,000. Some days will be closer to probably 20.
Okay.
But that's the goal for the month is to hit a total of 500,000 for the month.
Got it.
Yeah.
do you have some sort of game plan?
Game plan is to try to hit around this number, 16,000 most days.
Okay.
And then as I'm getting closer to the end of the month, kind of reevaluate how many I have left.
So for you, because I know you walk Stevie and that trail by you, and you know how many steps that gets you.
Yep.
Are you like, I'll do that and then another lap? Or like where are you going to fit these? How are you putting these steps into your day?
Yeah. I guess I'll be more intentional to schedule longer walks probably, and probably multiple walks.
Okay.
Like right now I take Stevie on like 1 walk per day typically. So maybe I'll do 2. Maybe I haven't been running at all. So maybe I'll start going on some runs for some exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably do a couple hikes. Probably just, so like yesterday I hit Saturday hit 62,000 steps, which is the second most I've ever done in a day. So
that was the Enchantment.
The Enchantment.
Okay, I was like,
not on Saturday.
Okay.
So the most I've hit in a day is 100,000 when I did that 100,000 day challenge.
Yeah.
And then Saturday was the second most I've ever done, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the challenge for August is 500K over the course of a month.
This is like a good, like it's a challenge, but also attainable.
I did one month where my goal was, because I try to do 10,000 every day.
Yeah.
I did one month where I did 15,000 per day for a month, and I was able to do that.
Okay.
So this is a bit more than that.
Yeah.
With the ability to walk less some days and then more other days.
I like that.
So
I like the average, the monthly average.
And it's August, so it's a sunny, nice month. I'll be outside a lot, and I'll be in Chelan for the.
Not right now.
It's been an amazing summer.
It's been so great.
Today's like the first rainy day in a long time, and I was looking at the forecast. I think we're looking at only.
I think it's gonna get better.
I think today's the only day. Yeah, starting tomorrow's 72 and cloudy.
Okay.
And then it's like 80s again next week.
Okay. So, we still have more.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, I just want to hear about, did you guys pull the trigger on the coffee machine?
We did.
You end up buying?
Yeah, we kind of feel like we're copying you guys.
I love it. I wish you could have come over though to just see and experience, but you can return it. I mean, that's the thing. If you don't love it, did you do Amazon?
Amazon.
Yep. Great. Okay. So you can always return it if you don't love it.
Yes.
I hate to admit he was right. It was a good choice to return
Better
ours.
than the previous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm excited because we've always done. We had a Keurig for a long time, and then we had an espresso for a couple years, and both of them broke. But both were, you have to use the pods for the most part. This is the first time we'll like actually use real beans, and we'll get to like experiment with different beans and actually hopefully make better coffee because of it. So.
Well, and you can now. Are you still doing your flat white?
Flat white, yes.
Yeah, you can make that at home.
Flat white.
It's gonna be
experiment with different Americanos.
I tried to steam milk yesterday. My dad was over in the afternoon. I was like trying to make him a cappuccino, and I didn't do it right.
Oh,
it like overflowed. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm supposed to hit the steam when I want it to steam, and then also hit it again when I want it to stop. I thought it would just automatically stop. Like
gotcha.
It turns it it knows how long to do it.
It's a little bit of a learning curve.
I don't think it knew.
So what is your go-to drink with it then?
So I just do an Americano.
Okay.
Shot of espresso and hot water, and then I add cold half and half into mine. Okay. That's my like morning drink. But Chad was kind of playing around with steaming the milk and trying to he wants to learn how to do like
latte art.
Nice. Yeah. So we're working on it.
Love it.
Yeah. Cool. But there's also the other thing I like about it is it will just I mean, it sounds so silly, but it'll just do hot water for you. And I like a peppermint tea in the winter. And usually I'd have to like microwave. I don't have a teapot or a hot water pot thing. So we'd have to microwave water and then put whatever. So I like that it can do like a little extra too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ours arrives on Wednesday.
Okay. What color did you get?
We got the black.
Okay. Because
all of our appliances are black.
That's what I was thinking.
All of our accents are black.
Okay. So that's what I thought. So that's why
the white, right?
We did. Yep. So ours matches our appliances. But I was thinking that the black one would fit your aesthetic.
Yeah. I mean, we copied you guys' sauna purchase. Now we're copying your espresso machine.
I love it. Next, you're gonna get a shipping container pool.
I would love to get a shipping container pool. I love it. That would be a great next one to copy.
It's gonna be great.
All right. Thanks, Jamie.
Awesome.
Happy Monday.
All right. See you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.